Daniel, kick us off.
Kayla, welcome to Atlanta.
Hi, Atlanta.
That's right. How you liking it here so far?
Big fan. My judo coach, Jimmy Pedro, won his first Olympic medal here in 96. So I went over to Centennial Park, checked it out. Still trying to find his name somewhere, but yeah, big fan. I went and walked around, talked to some locals. So I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you brought up the Olympics because I was going to ask you, like, obviously Atlanta has such a rich history of combat sports. Not just some of the best fights of all time have happened here, but the Olympics. So is it nice to fight in a place where combat sports is so well respected and appreciated?
Yeah, of course. I think, you always want to go where you're appreciated. So the more fight fans, the more fans that are here, the better it feels and the more welcomed you feel. And Atlanta has a deep history, period. But to have such a deep culture, like combat history, is exciting.
So Kayla, people love to criticize you and they like to say stuff like, oh, Kayla's taking the easy path and this and that, but they don't see the work that goes into it. So let me ask you this. If it was so easy, how come no one else is doing it?
I mean, I think you just answered the question for me. There's always going to be negativity. There's always going to be doubters, naysayers, just people who are, got a lot of hate in their heart or sad or whatever, but I don't listen to any of that. I'm excited to be where I am. I love what I do. My goal is to be a light in this world and to spread positivity and joy, because I get real joy out of doing what I do. So, I wish all of those people who like to hate on me the best, because they're probably going through something. So I'm sending them good vibes.
Well, that's very empathetic of you. So listen, Caitlin's been in there with a lot of big names. I mean, she knocked out Miesha Tate back in the day. Like, does she bring anything to the table you haven't seen before?
I mean, I think she's just a veteran of the sport. She's tough. She's gritty. She's composed. And I'm looking forward to sharing the cage with her. She's a pioneer of the sport. She's like I said, she's a veteran, and I have a lot of respect for her, and we're going to put on a hell of a show.
So Steve had to leave, but he wanted me to ask a question for him. He wanted to know, who do you see as the biggest challenge in this year's tournament?
Probably Pacheco.
And lastly, I got a personal question. So obviously you're a very well-respected black belt. I recently got promoted a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. What kind of advice would you give? Thank you. What kind of advice would you give me to one day be a black belt like you?
Black belt is a white belt who never quit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla. Welcome to Atlanta and look forward to your fight.
Thank you.
Josan. All right, Josan, we'll come back to you. Curtis.
Hey, Kayla, this is Curtis Calhoun with MMA News. Good to talk to you again. First question for you. You were recently nominated for a 2022 ESPY award. How great does that feel, and how much does that mean to you?
I mean, it feels amazing. I was definitely shocked when I got the news, and then excited, and then nervous, and then humbled, and then grateful. I think that above all, I'm grateful and I'm humbled. It's big shoes to fill. I'm amongst the greatest fighters, and I feel like I'm standing on top of all of the female fighters who've come before me. I'm standing on their shoulders, and they made this possible. And I'm honored to represent all of women's MMA. And I hope that somewhere a little girl is watching, and she's going to stand on my shoulders someday and do even bigger and better than I'm doing. So I'm humbled and I'm excited. Absolutely. And last question for me. Actually, just want to give you the chance to promote your foundation a little bit. Tell us what you got coming up with that. And for those that may not know a lot about it, feel free to talk a little bit about it. Look at you guys listening to my positive and constructive criticism and changing. I'm so proud of you. So the Fearless Foundation is my third child. It's for survivors of sexual abuse. I have a book out. It's called Fighting Back. And I encourage everyone who wants to help end this epidemic to go pick up a copy and read it and then give it to a friend. All of the proceeds go to the foundation. I have shirts at Fuji Sports that are all the proceeds go to the foundation. The PFL just dropped a shirt, I believe, a Kayla Harrison tee, where all of the proceeds are going to go to the foundation. We have some auctions coming up. I have one of a kind Polaroids that I'm going to be signing from different moments in my journey that we're going to be auctioning off, that all the proceeds are going to go to the foundation. So we're starting to get a lot of traction and get a lot of money to really try and change the stats. 1 in 6 boys and one in 4 girls will be sexually assaulted or abused before the age of 18. And I was one of them. And I want to make that number a lot smaller. So it starts with education. I want to get my book to all of the health classes in America and then the world. And it also starts with mastery. I have a ton of ideas, but let's just start with the education piece first. So I encourage you to go check it out, fearlessfoundation.org. There'll be a lot of stuff coming soon. Support if you can. I would really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kayla. All the best.
Actually, my birthday is July 2nd. And if everyone could go buy a Fearless Foundation t-shirt from either the PFL or Fuji Sports, or buy a book and give it to someone, that would be the best birthday present anyone could ever give me.
Conan.
Conan of Conan Daily. Kayla, just one question. I asked the same question to Larissa earlier. You've been fighting in PFL since 2018. Now you're fighting your 13th PFL fight. What's the difference between Kayla Harrison in 2018 and Kayla Harrison now in 2022?
I mean, I think I'm just a much more evolved fighter. I think I'm a much more evolved person. Time and wisdom will do that to you. I think that every day I get a little bit better, and I'm still just scratching the surface. So I'm excited to continue to go out there and put on great fights, to showcase my skills, and to keep climbing the mountain.
I'm happy that you're doing, many inspiring things aside from MMA. I wonder how or what do you do to relax?
I mean, I have a hyperbaric chamber that was given to me by OxyHealth. So I get in there to recover and relax sometimes, take a little nap. That's pretty much it right now. I have chickens too. Those are fun.
Okay. Just one more question. Do you think Katlian is an easier opponent than Marina?
Than Marina? I take all of my opponents seriously. I don't really compare one to the other. Everyone's tough until you beat them. So my job is to go out there. It's to instill my will. It doesn't matter who's across the cage from me. I have 15 minutes to go out there and do my job.
All right. Thanks, champ. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salvador.
Hi, Kayla. You recently said that you do this to reach the top of the mountain, and I'm just curious what you could consider the top of the mountain, considering some would say you're already there.
Oh, thank you. It's really personal, and it's not something that I can necessarily define right now. It's a never-ending journey. Life is a never-ending journey to the top of the mountain. I think that maybe I should start changing it. Like, when you say the top of a mountain, everyone thinks that means there's going to be a peak or a moment where you're like, okay, I'm done. And when I was a kid, I used to think that. I used to think, I'll be happy when I win the Olympics. I'll be happy when I win it again. I'll be happy when I'm a millionaire. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I have kids. I'll be happy when. But that's a false story that we tell ourselves. Happy is now. Happy is present. Happy is a choice. And I don't necessarily chase a thing anymore. I'm chasing the best possible version of me. It's me against me. And every day I want to be a little bit better. So when I say top of the mountain, I guess I just mean my truest, highest, most evolved, best self.
And your opponent coming into this bout is taking it on short notice. With this year having all these big underdog upsets, is there a different feeling to the fight, knowing, or given most would assume you're underestimating someone coming in on short notice?
Well, people shouldn't assume anything about me because I don't underestimate anyone.
Awesome. Congratulations on your SB and good luck on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Danny. Segura.
Yes. Yes.
Danny, hola.
Hey, Kayla, how are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, bien. ¿Me extrañas?
Oh, I don't know. He lost me.
That means you miss me, but I'm sure you do. So I'll just go
I
to the
do. I miss you so much.
next. So, were you upset? Were you bummed when Julia Budd had to pull out of the fight?
Yes, obviously. I think, the competitor in me wanted to face a former Strikeforce champ, a former Bellator champ, someone with her accolades. I want to test myself. I think everyone was pretty more excited for that fight than they've been for any of my fights, I guess, any of my opponents, I guess, in a while. So yeah, I was looking forward to it. But I wish her a speedy recovery. I hope she's okay. And, that she heals up quickly.
And you had posted something on Twitter, something like, hey, this wasn't my fault, more or less.
Yeah.
Did you get backlash for that?
I mean, yeah, look, at this point I get backlash for, how I brush my hair. It's like, everyone has an opinion and everyone, thinks. There's just a lot of negativity in this world. That's all I'm going to say. And sometimes I lose the ability to block it out and I find the urge to snap back. So, that was just me telling them, shut the hell up. I didn't pull out of the fight. I'm not going to pull out of a fight. It is what it is.
Yeah, do you find that kind of bizarre? Because, you're showing up. You're here at Media Day. You're going to fight in a couple of days. You literally had nothing to do with this. You wanted to fight Julia. How the hell are people...
Yeah, it just gets frustrating. It's the same thing over and over again. People just make assumptions or they don't read anything and just want to talk trash. So it gets a little bit frustrating. I'm I'm here. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight whoever they put in front of me. I can only control the controllable, right? I can only control me and my reaction to things. So that's on me. I probably shouldn't even have said anything. It's just a bunch of, negative people making noise, but I'm excited to fight. I'm excited to fight Katlian Young July 1st. It's going to be a good fight. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you don't underestimate anyone. You've made that pretty clear. But how do you bounce back from, having a former Bellator champion in front of you, an experienced veteran, and looking forward to, probably easily the biggest name you've faced so far, to Katlian Young? And no disrespect to Katlian Young, but, Julia Budd is significantly more established in the sport.
I think you just, it's really, when you come from the perspective of being better than yourself, it's not hard to be pumped up to fight. It doesn't really matter if it's Julia Budd. It doesn't matter, like I've said a million times, if it's King Kong, if it's Katlian Young. Katlian's a pioneer of the sport. She's a veteran of the sport. She's going to come out. She's going to give her best. I'm going to come out and I'm going to give my best. And I'm excited to test it and see who the winner is on Friday night. That's why I fight, and I fight to be the best version of me. So I'm amped for it. I'm amped to test myself again. I wish it was Friday.
For sure. And on another note, how was meeting Sean Strickland? Can you give us a little bit of insight on that interaction? Because we saw his reaction to it. What the hell happened that he had to apologize for? Is he as bad as he is on social media?
Well, he said a lot of nasty things about me online. Not knowing me at all, having never met me, just making assumptions. And then he came to my gym where I'm team captain, and I had to let him know. Yeah, I don't know. I turn haters into fans, I guess. If you met me in person, if you're a troll online and you ever meet me in person, I bet you're gonna love me by the time you leave. Sean's actually a pretty nice guy. He's a hard worker. I don't agree with half the crazy shit he says, but I'm wishing him good luck in his fight on Saturday. He fights Saturday, right? Yeah.
Yep. All right, Kayla. Well,
He helped Johnny to train to win a world title.
That's right.
So we're grateful for him, and he's always welcome back at my gym.
For sure. Yeah. All right, Kayla. Well, appreciate the time and best of luck in your fight.
Gracias, Danny.
Yeah.
Joe Sean.
Hey, Kayla, Sam Montesino from Lucha Libre Online. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. So, first of all, congratulations on the nomination for MMA Fighter. I want to ask you, how or what is your philosophy of life? Because for someone who has been going from the bottom to the top, do you hear me?
What did you say? Sorry. How's my what?
Your philosophy of life.
Oh, philosophy.
Your biggest yeah, because for someone like you that's been coming from the bottom to the top, it doesn't matter if it's as a fighter, as a woman, as a mother, as a parent, as a husband, it doesn't matter. How do you put all that into wanting to be the person that you are today?
I don't know. God made me. Ask him.
I ask you because personally, I follow you. I follow the person that you are, how you think, and how you take everything personally and professionally. And I want to know how you been accomplish all of that personally, and how you put that into the combat sports.
I think it's because of what you said. I have had to overcome a lot in my life. I've been at rock bottom. I've been to the darkest places, and because I've been there, I can be grateful for where I am. You can't appreciate the rainbow if you don't have any rain. And I know that I was put here for a reason. I know that I have my life has a purpose. I'm grateful that I never ended my life, and I continue to pursue my purpose. And I believe that every human being has inherent worth and value. And I believe that every human being on this planet has a purpose and is here for a reason. And it's our job to use those gifts to change the world and to find people around us who support us when we maybe don't believe in ourselves. So I am the way that I am because of the people who believed in me, because of God, and because I have this little voice inside of me that says, don't give up.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Trevor.
Kayla, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. You touched on it some, but it kind of felt like one of the narratives coming into this season for you was no more noise. And obviously it doesn't really seem like that's been the case or that stopped at all, but you must have expected that noise to continue, right?
I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? Like one day I think that I've talked about it a lot. Like I really have gotten to that point where, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be the best. And this world is very fickle. One day people love you. The next day people hate you. The next day people spit on your name. The next day people raise you to the rafters. So I think that I take it all with a grain of salt. I mean, the people who love me and are close to me. My circle is super small nowadays. And I like it that way. My life is good. All of the, I guess it's a good opportunity for me to grow, right? Because when I get all of this noise and I get all of this hate or I get all of this bullshit, I could respond in one of two ways. I can either respond with more negativity and bring more negativity into the world and tell these people that they don't know what they're talking about and to go fuck themselves and they have no idea what it's like to be me. If they could spend an hour in my shoes, they'd give up. I could fight back that way. Or I could say, you know what, man, you must be going through some shit because only hurt people try to hurt people. So I'm going to send as much love as I possibly can. And I'm going to wish you the best. And I'm going to pray for you and just send out nothing but love and good vibes. And that's what I'm going to do. Cause I know from experience that I only try to hurt people when I'm hurting. So all of this hate, all of this noise, all of this negative energy, it's coming from a place of pain and hurt. And I can empathize with that and send them love.
But you don't feel like the letdown, so to speak, going into these last two fights is overlooked at all? You know, first signing with another promotion and now being back in the season with the PFL, then being lined up with Julia Budd and having the focus switch there late too. That's not somewhat difficult to overcome back to back?
I mean, my job is to get in a cage and fight. You know, my job is to be the best mother I can be. My job is to be the best woman I can be, to be a leader in my community, to be a light. My job isn't to no, I don't find it hard at all. Like, I love what I do. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity to just, I never thought I would be here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be making this kind of money. I'm not supposed to be a mom of two. Like, I'm just grateful for all of it. So I'm not bummed at all. Like, this is my life. It's beautiful.
And congrats on the ESPY nomination, of course, for Best MMA Fighter, the only female fighter nominated as well. So do you have a case on why that should be yours, or maybe a message to people that may argue against you sitting there with those other three names?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm super humbled to be amongst those three. They are, you know, legends of the sport and all amazing in their own right, have all accomplished great things. I'm humbled by it. I'm honored. I'm not going to make a case for myself. You know, there are a lot of people who want me to and who think I should. I'm not going to make a case for myself. I just want to say thank you for the nomination. I want to say thank you to all female fighters. I'm a fan of every single one of them. To do what we do in a male dominant sport is badass. And I know that I'm representing all of us and I'm going to do my absolute best. And I know I'm standing on their shoulders. So I'm grateful for them. I'm a fan of them. And I don't know who you should vote for. If you vote for me, thank you. I think my only goal is to inspire, is to inspire the next little girl who's sitting at home wondering if she could ever do great things. I was a 6-year-old kid in Middletown, Ohio, when I put on a judo gi for the first time. And I'd never left Middletown. And now I've seen the world and won 2 gold medals and 2 PFL titles. And, I've had a long road to get there, but it was all worth it. And my goal is to inspire the next generation. So if you're watching this, thank you. And congrats to all the other nominees as well.
Thanks as always, Kayla. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Mills.
MMA Lock Sports Radio. How you feeling today, Kayla?
Oh, good.
All right.
How you feeling?
I just wanted to say some things. You got some people in MMA, pioneers and originators, and then you got trendsetters and people that's pushing the needle. I like to call you one of those trendsetters that's pushing the needle right now. You have a lot of fighters that wasn't able to achieve what you were able to achieve. The net worth of $3 million with you winning that $1 million back to back is proven that women can come into this sport and dominate at a high rate and actually make money as well. So I know that has to feel good, like you said, because I heard you in the last thing. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. I actually believe everything is meant for you to be here and to put on your story that you are for all the ladies out there. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. when I say I shouldn't be here, I guess what I mean is like there was a time in my life where I did not want to live. And because of that, I'm grateful that I am where I am. But I believe in that 100%. Everything happens for a reason. I was given my story and my voice and my platform and my purpose for a reason, and I hope that I change the world with it. I hope that I make it so women can make a shit ton of money in MMA. I hope that I raise the bar. I hope that we make it so that we push the boundaries and we break the ceilings. And I hope that little girls don't have to work so hard one day to be treated as equal. And I hope that survivors of sexual abuse one day don't feel so alone. And I hope that people know that it's okay to love yourself and believe in yourself and chase your dreams. Those are my messages. Those are my beliefs, my morals. Those are what I stand for. So thank you. I hope I'm doing it. I'm trying.
No, you're doing a great job. And just to follow up, your last book was published in 2018. So years passing, a lot of stuff's been going on. So do you see yourself back in that author chair?
Yeah, absolutely. My first book was really a guideline for what child sexual abuse is and how we can overcome it, how we can prevent it, how parents and caretakers can talk to their kids. It was a textbook and a memoir combined. And really the next book I want to write is a curriculum. So I want a curriculum to go along with the book so we can actually sit down and write it out for kids. I also want to write a kids version, like a much younger book for, funny tummy feelings and getting even younger kids to talk about it and start to have a dialogue with them so that they can feel safe to say like, mommy, whatever may be happening. And then maybe eventually, someday a memoir or something like that would be fun. But I love to write. So I've got like 500 journals full of stuff that is just waiting to be read.
Love it. I'll be looking forward to it. And just
thank you.
We wrap this up. I got one MMA joke for you before we go. You ready for it?
Oh my God, I love jokes. Yes, please go.
All right. So I've been training now for 3 months at my local gym. I told my instructor to give me a name that specifically fits my personalized skills. And what do you think he calls me?
Personal life skills. Is it mean or I'm not gonna guess. What did he call you?
John.
What? It cut out. No.
Say it again, Mel. Sorry.
John Week. Like John Wick, John Wick.
John Wick.
Oh.
Like John Wick.
Oh my gosh. Did you?
All right.
Mills. Did you hear about the actress that just got stabbed? It happened the other day. Did you hear about it? It was Reese. What's her name? Reese Witherspoon. No, with a knife, dummy. What do you call a cow with no legs?
Legless.
Ground beef. Dad jokes all day long. Okay, I'll be here all day.
You got me. All right, Kayla, I'll be rooting for you. Just want to say I appreciate it. Haven't talked to you in a while.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mills. Sportscast, go ahead. Last one.
It's huge pleasure to talk with you, Kayla. I'm Landro Radacic. We talked through the Instagram for last few months. It's huge pleasure to talk with double PFL champion and two-time gold medalist in judo or in Olympics. Thank you for your time. You have always time for me. It's huge pleasure to have your time. You are such a kind woman and great ATT captain.
Thank you.
How it feels to be captain of the American top team? It's I think that's huge. Many of great fighters fighting out the American top team.
Yeah, it's I sort of forced my way in there. I was so loud and obnoxious and demanding that I gave everyone no choice but to accept me as team captain. But it's something that I do take pretty seriously. You know, I try to encourage all the young up and coming fighters. I try to be there for everyone as much as I can. I try to check in and make sure everyone's doing all right. I try to support the coaches and any way that I can. And I also just try and lead by example. You know, I'm not late to practice. I clean up my stuff. I show up, I work hard. I'm excited for what I do. I'm excited for every practice. We train hard, we work hard, we bleed together, we sweat together, we win and lose together. So for me, it's an honor. American Top Team is my home.
Yes, the one of the best and successful members of family was Joanna Jedrzejczyk. How good to how good was to training with her. Also, she is my favorite fighter before you. You stepped in the game.
She's my favorite fighter too. That's okay. I'll accept that one. No, Joanna's the best. You know, she's another one who leads by example. She works hard. She has great energy. She's always pumped up. She goes in there and whoops ass. And then is there to help you up after she's whooped your ass. I've seen it multiple times. But she's a legend of the sport. She's a champion in mind, body, and spirit and soul. And she's a big role model for me.
Nice. You are also champion. You are champion in two different sports. What makes you a champion? Training, dedication, or psychology? I think your mental game, because I think that mental part of the game is the biggest difference in any sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think that number one, my faith helps elevate me to a new level. You know, it's a different kind of peace when you know you're a child of God. I think that he made me this way. You know, my mentality, my work ethic, my drive are second to none. I know that there's nobody tougher in this sport than me mentally. I know that I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to cry every practice. I'm willing to bleed. I'm willing to dig deep when you think you don't have anything left. And that is why I'm going to be successful, because I'm willing to do those things. I'm mentally tough and I believe in myself.
We all know that you're Olympic champion. What's driven you to getting out of comfort zone? You were the greatest judoka player in USA history, to getting to get started MMA career and have different perspective of the sport, and have entered in a completely different world with different people, with different mentality. How tough was adjust to new sport, and what's driven you to getting out of comfort zone? Because that is the toughest thing in life, to getting out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we grow at the edges of our experience, right? So I've never grown when I was comfortable. I've never gotten better, and I've never felt satisfied when I was comfortable. I'm not the type of person who can sit back and be content. So I knew that I was done with judo, and I knew that I wanted to continue to test myself and push myself and try to achieve new things. And it just so happened that MMA was there, and I started training. I tried it out and I really loved it. I loved everything about it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt excited to get up and go to practice, and excited to get up and learn something new. And I knew that I had found my new calling.
Nice. Excellent answer as usual. And one question which is more important for me in that conversation, which your definition of MMA? Because I listened to the podcast of American Top Team Punching In. You were brilliant, and your reasoning about sport was impressed me. Can you said can you say to me what's your definition of MMA? Because many people think that MMA is similar like gladiators in ancient Rome. I don't think so.
Yeah, to me, MMA is a sport, and it's martial arts. You know, at the end of the day, I think the way that MMA is growing and evolving, it's going to become much more sport based. You know, it's not just going to be these crazy fights and like you think gladiators. Of course, we're still going to have these battles. We're still going to have these wars. We're still going to have these absolute insane matches and fights.
Like
but that's what happens. That's what happens when you get to the top of the food chain. You know, everything is so close. People are so equal that it's going to be either a crazy fight or it's going to be a very calculated technical display of martial arts. But to me, MMA is rooted in martial arts and then followed by sport. It's a sport.
It's sport, and it's also it's like more complex sport than people think. You have do much many things before fight to being good in a fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last question from me: as a mother, as a champion, as an Olympic champion in judo, can you recommend judo to younger people as a basic sport? What can you say about judo and to younger people?
Yeah, I think that judo
it's the best option for the basic sport, for first sport to train.
Yeah, I think that judo is a great starting point for children. Honestly, judo is one of those things that it has something to offer everyone, whether you're 6 years old and you just need some confidence, or you're 60 years old and you just want to get back in shape. Judo is a safe, healthy, good environment. Whether you want it to take it to the highest level of sport, the Olympics, or you just want to practice a martial art, a mind-body way of life. And it's a hell of a workout. Judo has something to offer for everyone. I encourage everyone to take at least one judo class in their lifetime.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you so much. We're going to go to the next one. Steve D, please.
Hey, Kayla, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Steve D from MMA UK and Extreme Life. Happy to talk to you. I just want to thank you for all the positive energy you send out. I mean, you have this incredible positive energy that you just keep sending out. You've overcome a whole lot of obstacles in your life and maintained an incredible, career despite of that, in spite of that. And congrats on the nomination. To be on the same list as Kamaru Usman and Alexander Volkanovski and Charles Oliveira. Just an incredible honor, I'm sure you feel. And we actually met in 2019 at the championships. I was interviewing Mick Foley, and you just happened to walk by. We talked for a couple of minutes.
Nice.
I don't know if you stay in touch with Mick, but he's a great guy.
I still talk to him occasionally.
Yeah. So. No, I got muted. All right. Somehow I got muted. All right. I don't know. Thank you, Daniel, for asking that initial question for me. So the question was about Larissa, because I think, it's going to very well end up this season with you facing Larissa again at some point. Now, she says she's a very different fighter than the last time you fought her now. Her hands are getting heavier by the day. She says that she's just different. What differences how are you going to approach this fight? Is there going to be differences in your game at this point, or how have you grown since the last time you faced her?
Yeah, I think we've both evolved. I think she's definitely gotten heavier. I think it's hard to have heavy hands from your back. So I wish her the best of luck with that game plan. My focus is on Katlian Young, July 1st, and then I'll go from there. But for sure, Larissa's evolved. She's been in MMA for a long time. She started very, very young. You can see her getting better, but I see holes, just like there are holes in my game, and it's her job to try and exploit them, and it's my job to try and exploit her. So I'll be prepared. I'll be ready.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, everybody has a combination, right? Everybody has the holes in their game, and it's up to the other fighter to try to figure it out. And I have no disrespect to Miss Young. She's an incredible fighter as well. I think she's your first obstacle on the way there. The other question I have is, what have been some of the major obstacles that you found throughout your career? I mean, you've just got an incredible resume of fights. And faced a lot of criticism for just as but like I said, I think a lot of it is just largely unwarranted. I mean, it's not easy to do what you do. The fight game is a tough game. I mean, I think Mike Tyson said everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face.
What I've found is that is there any way to? Okay, it's okay. What I've found is that life is tough. Life hits hard. There are things that go on behind the scenes throughout my entire career that people have no idea about. Personal things. You talk about overcoming obstacles, injuries, family issues, family struggle, abusive relationships. There are tons of things in my life, and even during my fight career, that I've had to overcome and that I've had to battle against. So that's why the noise doesn't bother me, because I'm just so grateful to be where I am. I'm so grateful to be doing what I'm doing. My story could have been a lot different. I could be living a totally different life right now if things didn't go the way they went. So I'm grateful for it, and I guess I just want to send out some more positivity and some more love to anyone who's going through anything right now. We all have our battles, we all have our hurdles, we all have obstacles. Life hits harder than any fighter I've ever met, and I just wish everyone the best. I'm sending lots of love and positivity out there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I'm sure everybody appreciates that as well. And thank you so much for all the work you're doing, with your foundation. I'm a social worker by trade, so I spend a lot of time in that world as well. So it's, helping people, overcome traumas is extremely important. So thank you so much. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.